Hello YouTube, and today I'll be making my video about Fallout lore. Today's video will be about the Great War. The Great War was mainly resources and oil, timber, and other natural resources being wasted. And basically, all the nations started to fight with each other. Europe was all bloody because there was so much fighting going on in there, they began fighting with the Middle East and stuff. And that happened in 2052. And in 2053, a new plague came about. It was a virus that just spread across the world, and it was it was just horrible. So the world is totally shit right now. So in 2054, the vaults started to spring up, and the code name, the U.S. government's code name for the vaults was Safe House. And basically, they put a vault around every major city in the United States and the vaults were about as big as a city. And there would house up to about 1,000 people. And they were just huge bomb shelters there to protect the citizens of America from nukes that were inevitable, because they knew that the world was going to become horrible. 3 years after that, in 2057, the FEV, also known as the Forced Evolutionary Virus, was starting to be created, and it was first tested on animals like rats and other lab animals. And the reason why it was created was to kill off the plague. And if you guys have ever played a Fallout game, you will know that the FEV was not meant. You will be able to see they're not using the FEV like it was meant to be used. And basically, it was a failed project. And in 2059, the Anchorage front line, the U.S. began an armored campaign in Alaska to get the pipelines working, I guess, because they couldn't even use vehicles, because the Alaskan pipelines that were supplying America with all the oil and fuel they needed to power their vehicles, it wasn't working anymore, because there wasn't any more resources to be pumped out. So in 2060, the traffic on the streets of the world stopped moving. So basically, there were no cars were being driven because the government just stopped giving oil to companies to sell, so you don't have a car anymore, you have to walk everywhere. And it's kind of horrible, just imagine all those abandoned cars on the streets, just useless. But in 2065, their energy crisis got even worse because New York City, New York, well, they had a major reactor in there, and it almost went critical because people wanted so much energy and stuff, so they had to ration out electricity. So imagine not having a car or electricity. So I wouldn't even be making this video right now. But before that, in 2063, they finally completed all the vaults, and they started doing drills. So sirens would go off, and everyone would report to a vault. 3 years after that was the actual beginning of the Great War, where the U.S. fought China for the fossil fuels and everything else around Anchorage. Alaska. And in 2075, they finally started testing the FEV on humans. And what they basically did was they infected quarantine places, of course, because they don't want the FEV getting totally out of control. So people started becoming mutated. But before they became mutated, like within a day, they became like superhumans. But after that, like they started developing tumors, and other medical difficulties, I guess. And they even their skeletons became it was just distorted and stuff, and they basically became super mutants. And it also messed with their brains and made them a lot dumber. So with this failure, the scientists in the southwest of America, they started working on FEV version 2. And sorry about that, guys. But anyways, let's continue. Anyways, basically, when the bombs finally did drop and the sirens rang out, honestly, no one really believed that the sirens were actual sirens. Everyone just stayed what they were doing because they thought it was just another drill. But no, it was actually the real thing. It's kind of sad, because the people were so ignorant to not actually go where they were supposed to go, that they most likely died. And so, basically, the whole Earth was just blown to pieces and stuff. It's kind of hard to imagine because basically all the nukes going off, because there were 20 kilotons, and all of them going off at all the different times, it altered the faults. And basically what the faults are is, if you paid attention, like science in 4th grade or whatever, they're basically the things that make sure the mountains are mountains and trenches are trenches and that the water is where it is. So basically, there were parts of the earth that were flooded. Mountains like literally crumbled to the ground. And like I believe California was totally split up off the mainland. So yeah, that's kind of crazy. And it's kind of funny because, all the movies like 2012 and that new upcoming movie called, like, I believe San Andreas. So yeah, I'm going to end the video here with you guys just, pondering about. That's actually a pretty nice word, pondering. Anyways, so yep, I'm gonna end the video here. Make sure to stay tuned for upcoming Fallout lore. I'm going to try to upload some more. Next will be about the Brotherhood of Steel. So yeah, there it is. Kitman out.